Here, I'm going to talk about how to grow your business even when it's different than what you think others have out there. A lot of us are nervous about starting a business or growing a business when we feel it's different. The key is that you want it to be different. And I'm gonna share more about this. I'll share a little bit more about my experience and why I love to help people with unconventional business ideas or people who are just simply different than others. I'm an autism mom, audiologist, speech language pathologist. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm a caregiver for my son with autism spectrum. I take care of my mama. I got a nonprofit organization, blank, 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 blank. So all these things that I do that have led me to know that I am different than what anyone else is doing because I'm different. And so are you. So when I wrote my first book, Amazing Gift, The Journey to Autism Acceptance, it was my truly space of allowing the world to see that, okay, my life, my walk is different. And because it's different, I have to navigate this space in a unique way. I used to attend these business conferences. I am a student of the Steve Harvey Act Like a Success program, graduate of it, also spoke on it, and have done many follow-up work with a lot of the students from there by helping to develop their brands. And one of the things that what made me decide to write the book on autism, it's that is my unique journey, right? As I stand as a professional helping others with autism and then helping people with their businesses. And then now I am also doing this whilst loving my amazing gift, which is the name of the book, and helping others to navigate their space of accepting autism. How do I deal with autism? How do I deal with my child with autism? How do I still do things for myself? How do I still keep myself as myself? Like all these things that people used to come to me. And it helped me to truly tap into the space of being different and accepting our differences. And the more I spoke about it, which was one of the chapters in the book, I began to realize that this is one of the key things in what makes my brand, makes me as a business, makes me as a CEO a lot different than other CEOs. So when we begin to identify the things that are different, and I'm gonna do a masterclass on, how to grow your business, especially when you're a unique brand, how to really develop that space on the 30th of January 2025, whenever you're catching this. And it's really going to dive deeper into owning our uniqueness and making sure that we can speak about it, make sure we can identify it, make sure that we can highlight it while still walking some of the paths that many of the successful people do. So it's how do we blend this uniqueness of who we are into this space of business? And that's the key part, because sometimes I feel a lot of us who are unique or who have unconventional ways, we get so caught up in being unconventional that we begin to change all the dynamics of things. And when we change all of the dynamics of things, sometimes I think you make it harder. Key is you make it harder on yourself. And that is the thing about those of us who are into being different. Those who identify our differences, is that sometimes we identify the differences and then we want to take it all the way. Hi, Leela. Nice to see you. Let me know what part of the world you're coming from. And let me know if you are a CEO, then type out the word CEO. Or if you aspire to be a CEO, then let me know. And one of the key things that I had to learn, why I study under Lisa Nichols, why I studied under Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi and Steve Harvey, is because even in their uniqueness, right, which helps them to stand out from the crowd because they can't be like everyone else. So identifying your unique is key. They still had to follow the success patterns. And some of the success patterns, we now have to look at it and see, now, if this is the success pattern, where do I sit in this? And how can I duplicate this? Or how can I do it where my life looks like that? For example, because I'm an autism mom, I wasn't able to do the levels of in-person networking and marketing that a lot of people had to do, or they suggested with my coaching program at that time. Make sure you're networking out there at least once or twice a month, and especially in your local area, so they know that your business exists. That's the thing. It's a success tip, right? Even though we have online, we can't forget in person, right? We can't forget that, like one of my coach Jen Kem says, that analog connection. And in that space, I couldn't do it because Zachary was younger. I was a single mom. Of course, he's autistic, so I can't leave him by himself. And at times, it made it harder because parenting and then navigating him and being a professional and having this business and trying to do all the things that they tell you to do, it just became harder for me. I didn't have enough time in the day to do all the things. So I had to see, how can I tweak this to my life? That's the key. How can I ask yourself, how can I still walk in the path with the success tips, still keep my unique brand as my authenticity space, yet still navigate this success path so that I can fit into it, or my life, it can adjust to my life, or it or have it adjust to me, or I adjust to it. So one of the key things is, since I couldn't show up for personal networking, I started to do some online networking. I started to make sure once I entered the online space, I stood out from the crowd. Some little things could standing up the crowd could just be visual, right? Making sure I wore a red shirt or something that's visually a hat that they can see, or something that stood me out from everyone else, that they're going to walk out that space knowing that I was in the room. I make sure I raise my hand. I make sure I engage. I make sure I support whoever's leading. There's so many little tools that can help you to stand out of the crowd. Hi, little bear. Nice to see you. Help to stand out from the crowd, but walk the same path to success, but tweak it where it works for you, right? So owning your unique, still following the success path, the success tips, and we'll share more about that, but navigating the space. So if I can't go to the networking, then I can also create the networking event. I could be the one that's having it at a space where I can still be a mom, because I'm inviting other autism moms, or people already know I'm an autism mom, so you already know my kid gonna be in the room. So the dopest part about that is Zachary's now 18. My business is about 9 years old. So we started when he was about 9. And they pretty much are used to seeing him in the room, or him in the background, or I'm starting with him and somebody picking him up, or me still moving forward in that path and creating space for him in that path. So now I'm not hiding it, I'm including it, right? I'm making it be part of my brand. So then there came a point where they just associated autism with me, even though I'm doing business forums, even though I'm speaking on other strategies, they still related autism with me. And I had a book about autism. So I'm going to speak some more about that on the 30th. I'm teaching a masterclass. It's absolutely free. If you're interested, just type out the word interested. If you're catching this before January 30th, 2025, I'll make sure I get the link in the bio somewhere if you want to join. But the key is identifying the unique. We'll talk some more about that unique special sauce, that special factor, that thing that steps you out and stands you out from others. If you do, type in the chat. If you don't know, we'll talk more about it. And then we're going to show you too, how do you integrate this space? How do you make work for you in this success path, right? Because sometimes the path ain't going to change for you. Right? This is the path. There's a certain path. There's certain things that happens that has happened by many 50 million people. Now, if you want to keep stepping off the path and creating your own path, that's on you. But it may take longer for that, right? But if there's other paths that you know that have worked, you've seen it work for other people, you know it aligns to you, you know you just have to tweak some things, then we'll talk some more about your differentiation, your uniqueness, and how do you make sure you stand out from the crowd, make sure you're still following that path or following it to how it's working for you, and still allowing your business to grow, allowing you to grow. I've been into this space for a minute, and at times I didn't really see what made me different. Right? Sometimes you look at yourself and ain't nothing different about me. I live in Brooklyn. I've grown up in the inner city. I got Caribbean parents. I just feel like my life is pretty simple, or normal, or like everyone else's. How many of us sometimes feel like ain't no big difference with my life? But when you really take the time to look out and look at some of the things that I had to encounter, you look at some of the past that I overcame, look at the uniqueness of my communication skills, strategies, expertise. I'm a doctor in audiology. Like I have these things that steps me aside from the regular Jill, right? The regular person on the street. And I know you do too. And in this path, the growing your business, the key is walk the path many does, but still Allow the space for you to be different in it. Allow the energy for you to be different in it. And that is my desire for you as you grow your business. Take this tip. I'll come in some more with some extra tips for you. Let me know in the comments when you catch it what resonated most with you. There's other videos that I've been doing that you can also grow from, some mental health videos or spaces that allows you to work through some of the personal development spaces as you grow as a CEO, and other strategies I share. Feel free to check them out. All right. Have a blessed and amazing day. There goes my phone, letting me all the 50 million messages of what I got coming up next.